How many, with all of the homes now, how many parks are you actually involved with on a,
So 8 different parks, 8 different
wow.
deals.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Wait, 8 deals and 8 parks?
Yes.
I think that's gotta be I don't know if that's a first, but that's pretty cool. Why can't somebody do this themselves? Why do they need you? Why are you even here? Why can't they just do that themselves?
I recommend it to everyone. I mean, if you're thinking about doing it my way, don't do it that way.
Welcome, everyone. My name is John Fedro. I am sitting here with the wonderful and the magnificent Brandon from Michigan. Thank you so much for being here. Um, this is
Thank
awesome.
you, John.
Very
Yeah,
good.
I'm humbled that I got to, I get to help here, and my heart is to help others learn. And I watched probably 100 hours, I don't know how many hours of these videos.
Whoa.
Bef- I watched hours and hours, and it taught me so much. So hopefully, I can teach someone else, something, and someone they can learn and maybe not make the same mistakes. So I'm definitely excited to do this. So
Speaking of helping folks, did you come from traditional real estate or single family homes, or is mobile homes the first dabble with real estate?
so yeah, yep. My first dabble in real estate was house hacking. So we bought a duplex about 10 years ago, rock bottom housing market. Didn't have any idea what I was doing. And looking back today, I was like, wow, the house is worth way more than it was, and it's doing well. And we moved out since and kept it, and have a few more duplexes in the same general area that we bought in the same time frame. So yeah, that was kind of how I really got started. So have some duplexes with long-term renters, and see, I've been doing that since like 2012 ish. And then, yeah, I was kind of just looking for something else. Took a little break and really got into like my day job for a while, and kind of focusing on that career. Um, and then it just got to a point where it was like, okay, what's next? I don't want to do this anymore. I wanted some, reading lots of books and listening to lots of podcasts. Like I listened to the Bigger Pockets podcast and some other investor pod. It just got me going, and that's how I found out at the mobile home investing. There was a Bigger Pockets. There's a guy on there almost a year ago today, probably. Or no, I think it was in December of 2019. I heard a guy on there, and he's talking about you, and he's talking about mobile homes. He's doing parks now, of course. But then I was like, oh wow, the low entry fee sounds great. I didn't want to take out any more loans um, and stuff, and that was my wife doesn't want to, so I got to kind of be careful there and listen to her, of course, and um, get her buy-in, and everything like that. So this was great, this was great, and I was like, all right, I'm going for it. So I did a bunch of research, and then of course found you. So
And
yeah,
your wife was open-minded to this? I mean, saw the
yeah,
value kind of right away and affordable housing?
yeah,
Good.
yeah. She's usually she's open to my craziness sometimes. Well, it seems crazy, but I'm just not, I just don't, I'm just not the guy that's going to sit around at his corporate job for 20 years. And
The mobile home side of things, we got started working together with mobile homes, and then was it smooth sailing right out of the gate? Did you take was the duplex, like, did that prime you for mobile homes, or was it still a bit of an uphill battle when you got started with mobile homes? Or what did that look like your first few months in this business, mobile homes?
Um, yeah, I mean, it hasn't been terribly difficult, I don't think. It's
Not
just
terribly difficult, just very difficult.
yeah, yeah. No, it hasn't been it's been fun, and I've been able to generate leads uh fairly easily. And I so basically I did a couple, I did a couple homes, or 3 or 4 or so before, like I listened to all your videos. I read a few books,
Mhm.
um, listened to every episode of your podcast.
Oh,
I mean, just everything. But still, of course, I didn't know everything. There's still gaps in things that I learned from the modules as well that are very valuable. All the paperwork, all the like stuff, like I said, potholes, like how to actually really do a promissory note or the other options, and working with you has been super valuable. Um, but so yeah, I did a few before that, kind of knowing. I didn't want to jump all in until like I did it. I did a few on my own and just made sure I liked it and wanted to do it.
okay.
Um, I don't know if that was right or not, but I just did it. And
Do you still have those? Were those quick turns or just
I
selling
have
for cash?
I have 2 notes, and yeah, the 2 notes left.
That was before we ever
Yes.
met.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so you then were you
I
had
hope.
invested in a couple mobile homes. Say that again?
No, I said I hope, because I didn't. I mean, I'm still slightly worried about those notes, like because I didn't. I mean, I did. They're done right, but or I mean, they signed the papers and nothing's. I have the title, but I didn't do all that paperwork that I probably should have. So I worry a little bit about those, but oh well. I mean, it's something that maybe needs to be addressed, and I don't know, in the future, but um,
You could have folks re-signing things. I mean, and now let's talk about those folks. All your folks across the board, mobile home wise anyway, are
mhm.
they, I mean, with COVID going on, have they all been fairly consistent or keeping in touch with you or?
I haven't had any issues.
Okay, good.
Yep, I have not had any. I signed one right before the shutdown with this young lady. Well, not a young lady, but she's a single mom, and uh, right before the shutdown, she was starting a new job, and I was a little worried, but she's in medical, so um, some sort of medical career. But no, yeah, no one's had any issues. Even my renters haven't had any issues. It goes back to screening. I think you have to find. I even have a poor renter that is a cook at a. She works in the back of a um, nice high end restaurant, and she has been off and on working for all year, and she has not complained once. She has not missed rent. She has not been late. And it goes to screening. I mean, you can just, if you find the right people and that are good people, that they're going to pay their bills. So I think, I know you push on that, is the screening and stuff too, but it's just, yeah, it's really important. So
Well, it sounds like your duplex folks helped to help train you for what to look for. I mean, if you're house hacking, if you're living in some of these duplexes, you want just a super humble, sincere, appreciative, hardworking, honest, quiet person next door.
yeah.
Um, Even if you're not living there yourself, you still want that. So
Yeah.
maybe the duplex stuff helped because that's rare. I mean, if you're coming from no real estate at all, do you feel like your duplexes, you sort of cut your teeth there, or you've always just been a pretty good screener of people so far?
No, cut my teeth there.
Oh, okay.
I made one mistake, and we'll never make that mistake again. I was trying to help someone. It's the person with the sob story, and
What'd you
so,
overlook, or what was the red
well,
flag that you're like, oh, well,
I mean, just you name it. I mean,
no
y-
job, living
oh, they had
in
a
a
job.
church?
They were fine for a while. They were fine for a while. It was a nice family, and this is a crazy story. So, um, I'll try to keep it brief
These are the good ones.
because it's full circle. You got to hear it.
Okay.
So it's so yes, I helped them out. I let them move in, and they had a family. At that time, I had gotten a grant from the city for a lead program. They would put in all new windows in this old 1900s duplex, and but then you had to keep the rent low for a few years. Like, it wasn't terribly low, but you had to keep it like a little lower than, and it was still decent rent, but And you had to rent to certain income levels and things like that. Um, and so yeah, I mean, I'm sure everyone knows these people, if you have a heart for helping people, it tugs on your heartstrings. Like you want to, like, yes, I want to help everyone that comes through the door. Like, I feel bad that if that story is true, what you're telling me, that is horrible. And like, you want to help them. And so this family, they had a bunch of kids, and just really, they paid rent for a while, and then I think they were on there. I think they were in there for a couple of years, actually. I mean, they
Oh,
trashed it.
wow.
Not to mention they're just very hard on it. Um, and then they stopped. Then they got, like, it started getting late. Like, okay, oh well, this month they were like a month behind, but then they would pay, and then it just kind of things like that. I filed a few notices on them, and then they would pay, eviction notices, this, whatever the notice is. Um, and then it got worse and worse. And then one day they just were gone. They just disappeared and left. I mean, they, to the extent that they left, there was a rotisserie chicken in the oven.
A full chicken.
Like, this place there was roach. It was bad. So this was the worst. This was horrible. So they just disappeared. And so I was just like, all right, well, we got to get to work, get this place cleaned out. And it's like it's like you see some mobile homes like this where it's like, they just left. And
Oh yeah.
number one, we got to get it detrashed. We got to get it cleaned, and we got to get the roaches out, and the mice, and the smell. And then, okay, now we have a blank slate to work with. Um, doors had to get fixed because there was holes, um, and everything like that. And then, so yeah, so that was a huge mistake. It cost me, I kept their security deposit, of course, but it still cost, to get that place up and ready, 5 to 10 grand, to get it back in shape. And I filed a judgment on their record, and this was probably 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even longer. And I got a call like early last year from some, random number, and it was them. It was one of the ladies, and it was the mom, and she was like, "Hey, we just saw we have a judgment on our record, and we're trying to do this and this, clean up our record. We're really sorry, and we want to pay the judgment." And I was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, heck yeah, I'll take the judgment off your record if you pay me." And so I think it was like $3,500, and they paid it. I couldn't believe it.
I can't believe it either. That is
So, anyways, that I had to tell you that story.
wow.
It
I
was
thought you were going to
crazy.
say you bought a home from them, or they were in a mobile home that you went.
No.
No, but yes. Oh,
They weren't even
good.
in town, and they paid it. I met up with like their cousin or someone, and met up at the courthouse, and then filed released the judgment or whatever. And it was just like, I couldn't believe it. It's just like,
Any apologies from them or anything?
yeah. I mean, they were apologetic. Yeah. I mean, they feel bad, and they wanted to make it right. So, I mean, crazy.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Anyway, kind of a tangent, but
and no, a couple years later though, you forgot about them, and then that's all of a
yeah.
sudden. Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, good. That judgment will follow them around.
Yes,
Excellent. Good
exactly.
job
So
on
file
that.
your judgments.
Yeah. Tell me about the homes. How many homes? When did we get started together? And then I guess how many mobile homes has it been in total, or just from the start? Or
So yeah, June, I think we started. I think we officially started in June, um, and then I slowed down quite a bit in July, and then kind of slowed down for a little bit. I got really into the modules, and then I didn't pick up another one until September, I don't think. Made tons of offers.
okay.
Of course, started working with you, sending you the pictures, all that stuff, and really learning how to make those offers, and stuff like that. I did, well, the first one I did, it was a mistake. The first one was a mistake. So yes, in some aspects, that one was a mistake. It just did too much to it.
You did too much to it.
Yes, I did
Okay.
too much to it. There was a bunch of stuff that we didn't know about that, um, that, it just, things that pop up, you just don't know, like the bathtubs, we didn't check. I missed the bathtubs being cracked. And so we ended up replacing all those, and we just over repaired it. I think it just did everything that needed to be done, and it was beautiful. And I'll eventually hopefully make some money off of it in a couple of years, uh, once I get back to even. So it's not
Right.
like the end of the world. I learned a lot on it. Um, but yeah, it wasn't, so overdid that one. It was a free home, and it was, yeah.
Were you trying even back then before we got started, were you trying to break even in 12 months or less, or that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good.
And that one just went, it was just like, all right, oh, the bathtubs are, what do you do? I was just, I didn't, there was a few steps that I didn't have a full grasp on it, I think. But then I did that one. And then the next one I bought, the guy he basically did all the repairs and then sold it for really cheap. And I didn't do anything to it. So I'm like, all right, well, I over repaired that one. I'm just going to take this one and I've heard of, from the videos. Well, I've heard some people just buy them and then resell them and don't do anything to them. Okay, well, let me try that. And that went well. So, bought that one for a couple grand, and it was an older one and didn't do anything to it, and tripled my money.
On
Probably,
cash or payments?
yeah, cash.
Oh,
And this was in the middle of COVID. This was in the middle of COVID. I think I did that one in March or April. Like I was like, and that was when I was like, if I can do this in the middle of this crazy, like, what is it going to be like when the market's open? Like, so that one was like, whoa, it blew my mind. Like, I'm doing this in the middle of COVID. Like, so that was cool. And then, yeah, so no, I don't think, other than that first one, I think, and then the next one I bought was just like a $3,000. The guy was selling it, and I basically wholesaled it. Like,
cool.
it was 45 minutes away. So I was like, I was going to do the repairs. It needed a few repairs. It was like a 90, early 90s, the baby blue siding, um,
Yes.
those ones. Um, and, uh, and I basically found a buyer before I went to close. And I said, hey, I was going to do these repairs, but I'll give you a little break on the repairs, or I'll give you a little break if you want to do the repairs on your own, and I'll sell it to you for this. Okay, here we go. And then he bought it. So the only guy, and then so yeah, that was a good deal. He bought it for like 16, I think, and then
Oh, nice.
um,
Cash.
yes,
Okay.
I was trying to build up. I was really trying to, build up. Well, I lost a lot on that first one. Well, not lost a lot. I lost a lot of my cash because I think I put like 12 into that one, and I wanted to only start with like 10. So then I needed to. I didn't have much, and that next one, all I could probably do was 2 grand, on that one that I just basically, bought and then resold, um, and then kind of just started working it back up and recouping that original investment. And then, I did another one on payments, and then started working with you. And that one on payments, I paid like 4,500 for and did barely anything to it as well. That one's a interesting story too that we can get into later, but
It sounds like you in the beginning, you still are, I mean, juggling the amount of cash you have to be able to still close deals. Like after that very first home, you had money into it. The second home, you just said you only could make a couple grand of repairs, maybe. Like you only had a certain budget,
yeah.
and then you didn't have any more capital. So you still are juggling properties. You keep some for cash, you keep some, or keep some for payments, you sell some for cash. How do you know which ones that you're going to keep for cash, sell for cash, excuse me, or keep for payments?
But it was kind of just like for example, like this year, I think one of the goals I have set is, to hit basically do a 50-50 mix. So that's kind of what that was. That's 50-50. I did 4 and I did 2 and 2. Now, and part of it is too, is like, what is the market dictating? Like, do I have a bunch of people asking, do I have someone that just is beating my door down that wants to pay cash and they're going to pay the asking price? Okay. And I don't have, and I don't have any, rent to own or payment buyers that are really looking good, then, I guess I can be flexible there. And do it. So I'm not stuck on any one. If the price is right, or the sale price is right, you can go either way. I do have a separate ad on Craigslist for a cash, but everything else is straight rent to own. People still ask what is the cash price, and
course.
people still ask. Um, um, so yeah.
Out of curiosity, let's say, well, actually, let's talk. What was this? So deal number 4, I think
Mhm.
you said you were into it for like 4,500.
Yes.
Okay. What did you sell that one on payments for? What were the terms, if you remember?
They were, I believe we did that one on 72 months, 350 for 72 months, 2,000, 2 or 3,000 down,
Okay. So like 26, something like that,
something like
26,000.
that, probably 27-ish, I think is what it was.
What could you have sold it for realistically for cash? Like how much of a discount would you have had to sell it for in order to get it sold for
Um,
cash, that particular
yeah,
one?
trying to think what that one was. Um, Probably 15 to 18.
Okay. So about a $10,000
Maybe more.
reduction.
I mean,
Yeah,
maybe I didn't sell it enough. I mean, maybe, like I said, I'm still
well,
learning, I'm still learning, obviously. Um, I ask you many questions on, I get your input and stuff like that. So,
please. Well, that,
yeah.
yeah, that's where I'm here for you. The one of the reasons why folks may be continuing to pay you, whereas other folks, if they don't, COVID happens and people don't pay them, the folks inside the home, they want to stay there and they know they're getting a pretty decent deal. Yeah, you could have sold number 4 in the 30s, but you didn't. It's 7 years. People can wrap their brains around it. I'm going to own it. It's like a car and I get this whole home and I don't want to screw this up. So the vetting, yes. The price points, yes. If you were selling anyway, I think that has something to do with
Well,
it.
yeah, and I think, like you say, early in your career, you probably sold a few too high, you got a
All of them.
little too, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with 27 on that, to make,
Seriously. You,
I think that's plenty on a 1974
ooh,
home,
yeah. What?
So
How long did it take you to get your money back?
on that
Or
one,
yeah.
I didn't put much into it, so it'll be, holding cost. I think all in, I was maybe 6,000. So it might take,
Oh, okay.
depending on what his payment was, if it was 2,000 or 3,000. So, and then you get like another 30, almost 4,000 a year. So
Right.
it might take 9 months, I think, or so to get that back.
Nice.
Um,
Nice. So we're on deal number 4 right now. We didn't talk about that interesting story. Actually, why not? I'd like
yeah,
to kind
we're
of
on
move
four.
forward on the deals, but yeah, if that's as an interesting story, I
Yeah, it
know I'm
was an
interested.
interesting story. That one was in a senior community, really nice senior
Oh,
community. Um, and Park manager was nice. Although she hit me with, she did like oh yeah, everything's clear, and then all of a sudden, like, oh wait, before you sell, you have to power wash it, and you have to do this exterior stuff. Like, it was like, oh yeah, dude, the shingles had moss on them, and it was like, really. There was like an addition with moss on the shingles, and there was a bunch of debris on the roof. Not a huge deal, but it was just kind of like, really. So I had to power wash it. Which, it's one of those things. It wasn't a big deal. It was kind of annoying. I hadn't put much into the home anyways already, but it was like, okay, well, I'll work with you, Mrs. Park Manager, but hopefully you'll remember this and um,
Yeah.
give me a deal in the future or something, which I don't know if that's gonna happen. But
Oh.
so that's one aspect of it. She was a little challenging. I don't know. I don't think she wasn't mean, but she was just, yeah, it was just,
Her way or the highway kind of thing.
yeah, kind of. So basically, I went in to sign the lease agreement with her, and she was like, because that when I bought this one, I put the sign up in the window like the probably a little too soon. Like everybody, it's the middle of summer. It's a senior community, so it's a little more people are out and about and paying attention to what's going on. They have kind of a sense of ownership in this community, and probably shouldn't have put the sign out like basically before the buyer even left.
Mm.
Um,
Or the seller left.
you're right. The seller like they, like it was like right after, and it was like, I probably could have waited a few days. So she's like, uh, people watch things really closely in this neighborhood, and she wasn't being, in hindsight, I don't think she was just mentioning this. I don't think she had any grounds of or any reason to think that this was going to happen. But she's like, in senior communities, the it's watched a little closer when people are preying on seniors, and like kind of alluding that I did that, and I was like, did I do that? I was just kind of like I thought about it, and then I kind of followed up with her and was kind of like, look, listen, that's not my intention. Never was. I made them an offer. They accepted it. I didn't force them to, to sell me the home. Um, and then I did reiterate that I do plan to do, some repairs to it as well and things like that. But that was kind of a weird, just made me feel weird, like almost like she was like backhandedly saying that I was like preying on seniors, um, and stuff. Um, so yeah, that was kind of weird.
You did for the folks listening, and you did right. You addressed it. She was trying to maybe catch you in something or shine a light on you, and we can be right in that light to say, you know, those, people preying on seniors, people preying on anybody should not do business. They should get called out for it. They should be, run out with a pitchfork. But
Mhm.
that's not something that we do. We try to educate people, give them advice, make offers. Some managers are going to be like vigilantes, and they're going to just, no matter what you say, they're going to see you how they see you, or they're going to see you how whatever they're projecting onto you. It doesn't sound like that was her, or she was very gentle with it. And I think
Yeah, I don't
you
think so.
addressed it as best as possible. Don't run away. Hey, this is not what happened. And getting, I don't know how much you are now versus then, but everyone you work with, try to solicit a review, whether they're giving you an online review or something in paper or on a video or something you can
Yeah,
use later. um, I want to help more families like you. Is there a way that you can, write me a quick review?
yeah. I have been asking the past few sellers or past few buyers to leave. If you can leave me a review on
Oh,
Facebook,
yes. Awesome.
so to really build that presence because people
Mm.
really trust that outlet. They can go on your page and look at it and see that review. So I've been trying to, because I've had a few people like, where they just, I'm sure everyone gets this. Oh, they're a little skeptical. They're like, are you really are you a scam or what? Like they you ask people, sometimes people get skittish when you ask for a copy of their driver's or picture of their driver's license before they view the home and stuff like that. And you can say, look, this is the name. You can check us out on Facebook. You can check us out here, whatever. It gives you some credibility, I think,
Does.
and people trust you more. So
That was home number 4.
yeah,
All right. So you did sell that one on payments.
payment.
You are
Yep.
selling on payments. They're paying you. Do you keep in touch with that manager ever? It doesn't sound like you do.
I check in with her a little bit.
You do? Okay.
I did give her, I don't even know if this, of course, like I said, this was before the modules. They are paying their own lot rent.
Okay.
The buyer, paying their own lot rent. I think she would let me know, because I am technically on the lease,
Okay.
at
Yeah.
that one. So I think she would let both of them. I'm on, they require, this is a Sun community. They require to be as like a co-signer on the lease. I think she would let me know if they didn't pay the lot rent.
She may, but if there's somebody new that comes in and they've never heard of you or dealt with you, they might not even look at that lease to say, it's, hey, these are the people inside. I'm just going to deal with them. So somebody new coming in that, the Yes community fires and then they get a new person in there, that could be where the mistake happens. And then,
That's a good point. I'm glad you mentioned that, because the other one, the first one I did, it has a new park manager now. And I should probably follow up there just to let her, well, number one,
yeah,
I can introduce myself.
of
I
course.
knew it was on my radar, but yeah, definitely should call and introduce myself to her and just kind of mention it. So
For a few reasons. Yeah.
yeah.
What's one word? This is not a question that you were maybe prepared for. What's one word that's like the difference between, it sounds like you have experience in senior parks and family parks. What's like one word that you would like describe like the differences, or like, and then whatever the word is, I'm just curious, like between family parks and senior parks, or like what's one word or that would separate those two, or,
Yeah, this one wasn't a true senior park because
oh,
they did allow, which factored into my decision of buying the home too, as long as the person there's just no kids allowed.
okay. No
But
minors. Okay.
yeah, no kids. What would be one word? That's a tough question, John.
I
I
was,
mean, there's it's not one word, but it'll be more of like a phrase. It's just like I said, there's like this it's a community feel, a more of a community feel.
huh,
Any senior park around here that I've been in,
huh.
you just see there's more activity out in the yard, like people take care of their yards, and um, it's just, yeah, stuff like that.
Cool.
Uh,
Does the park look better? Is it a higher star, or is the lot rent higher in senior parks that you found, or
some of
local?
them,
Okay.
yeah, generally yes. There's only a few. Well, oh yeah, there's a few that I know of, and yeah, they're all, they're all higher end, higher end ones, I would say.
How many, with all of the homes now, how many parks are you actually involved with on a,
So 8 different parks, 8 different
wow.
deals.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Wait, 8 deals in 8 parks?
Yes.
I think that's gotta be, I don't know if that's a first, but that's pretty cool. Nice.
I know,
Good.
when I was writing, I was on the questions, I was like, yeah, and I wrote it down and I was like, whoa, that's okay. And like, yeah, I know, like I need to, and I wrote, I just kind of wrote down like, just, um, I've had some, in the parks I've worked in already, I've had leads like sent to me, but it's just they're never good leads. So it's not that I haven't had other leads in these parks. I have not been able to find a park yet, a park manager that I've built relationships with them and they know who I am, a few of them. Um, I think that the words getting around. I just was talking to one yesterday and he was like, "Oh yeah, I heard that you did that in the one down the street." And I'm like,
That's cool.
"Okay, yeah." He's like, "Yeah, so whatever you did there, that's fine to do here." And I'm like, "All right, good. No more questions."
That's That's your new of when you call a manager, like, hello, this is Brandon. I know you've heard of me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what is it? So you have now 8 total. Is there anything, and we didn't talk about those last 4 yet, but is there anything different that now that you've done these 8, now you want to, is there something that you're going to be doing differently? Are you just kind of keeping the status quo and you're happy with what's going on? Yeah, is there any changes that
Oh
you're,
yeah. I mean, I'm getting into more of a groove, I think. You know, the second time you do your, you know, rent to own, this will be right now. I'm doing the second rent to own in a row, so I'll be a little more smoother with, you know, paperwork, things like that for sure. Um, you know, just figuring out all the, you know, the insurance aspect when you're staying on as the owner, um, is a little, you know, just doing that a little differently, um, and giving them the option with that paperwork.
Yes.
And yeah, like just learning, you know, just working with you and learning different ways to do things, like um, just how much to fix it up. You know, this one right now that we're doing is a handyman special, you know, or, you know, handyman special fixer upper type
Hmm.
thing. We put some money into it, got it livable,
Yeah.
and then everything else is, we'll see how it goes. It's the first one, really, that I've done like that. So
Oh, is it really? Does that sort of pain you? Like, is your personality type where you want to get it perfect before you usually put it on the market, or whatever's going to work?
it's more rewarding, I think. I was thinking about that today. It's definitely more rewarding when you look at it and it's like, wow, look at, you know, new paint, new carpet, like, but then it's all money. Like you just, so money talks. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's more rewarding, but money talks. So
Yes,
if you're, I mean, you got to make sure your numbers are right. So no,
of
it's
course.
fine. It's fine for me, to do it that way.
Good.
So
And you're not taking advantage of anyone. Going back to what we were saying before, you're not taking advantage of buyers. You're not taking advantage of sellers. You're disclosing everything, and people
yeah,
know very clearly what they're buying and responsible for and what the expectations are. Um, how
yeah.
many hours a week are you full time in this business, or are you able to only do things part time, or how many
Part
hours?
time.
Okay.
I'm going full time though this year, so couple weeks.
Uh,
No, week from Friday.
and is that because, so that's something that we're just talking about now in this video. You've since put in your notice at your regular job, and you will be going full time in this business.
Yeah.
Can I ask you what gave you the confidence to do that? Was it a certain amount of income you were looking for, or more of a feeling, or you just hate your
Yeah.
job so much? Or
Yep. So I mean, obviously have the security of knowing, you know, I've been doing my, you know, the rentals for many years, 8 years or so. So those aren't going anywhere, hopefully. um, and then for the mobile home thing, yes, I think that I got my operating you know, my capital to a level where I'm comfortable. If I don't get, you know, that if I'll be able to, you know, I won't be like scraping the barrel, I guess, if I don't find a deal, I'm 1 month or whatever, or if I, you know, like right now, it's pretty quiet. Um, uh, there's leads, but you know, it's quiet. You know, it's just quieter. Uh, it was a little more active before the holiday, and I expect it'll pick up again. You know, things just almost come to a screeching halt, and then now they gotta kind of ramp up again. I have there's tons of interest, tons of buyers out there. It's just finding those leads, I think, right now. Um, and then actually doing it. I mean, I part time did 8 deals last year, or seven. I'm on my eighth, last year. And I mean, I just did it part time. Like I don't know, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, what could I do full time? You know, like, and so I guess, yeah, that, and I was kind of ready to be done as well. I was just looking for a way out. So I'd been looking for a while, just kind of waiting for the opportunity. So
seriously, congratulations. I mean, this is you're under, I mean, for at least the mobile, well, I don't know how many total properties that you have, but I mean, it's limited, and you're getting, I mean, you're only on the first, decade of this journey that you're going to have with real estate and mobile homes and these duplexes. There's a lot more to do and see, but that's huge. Most folks, That's a dream. That is a dream to, be able to do something themselves enough and help enough people and create enough value that they can actually quit their full-time job. And you're going to be working, I would imagine, even harder working for yourself.
I think my goal is to do 12 to 15 this year.
Okay. Awesome.
So no, I'm not. I mean, I could probably work harder than that, but I've busted my butt at this job for 10 or for however many years I've been here, and worked basically 2 jobs because I, been juggling all these things. I'm kind of just like, okay, what do I need and to be comfortable and spend some time with my family as well, and just free myself up for whatever else we want to do, and and not just continue to just kill myself, like, because I have been, and I'm burnt out a little bit from it. I'm that kind of person too, where I just, because my wife's worried. She's like, you're gonna find some way. You're gonna do something with your time. You're gonna have to figure this out because, and I'm like, I know I'm gonna have to figure this out because what am I gonna do with my time? Like I've had so like I'm the kind of guy that is like, all right, I got to be busy. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to go like, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I have to be in the right mindset and, just make sure I'm remembering those things and not just, trying to fill my day with something because I'm just wired or just, just so I've been doing it for so long in the corporate world that it's just like I'm just like, if I'm not doing something at anytime, it's like I feel like I'm not being productive or something, Yeah, so I just need to focus on, like they say, focus on the high dollar tasks. That's going to be my goal, is to focus on those high dollar tasks, not let myself get caught up with this extra time that I'm going to have. Like, oh, I'll just do that repair, like, like,
Okay.
I think that's what I'm going to have to watch out for. And, sometimes that's valuable if if it's enjoyable, for me, but and my time can be better spent.
It can. If I call you and you are swinging a hammer, I
will not be doing
I'm going to
that.
call. Okay.
I'm not
I'll
that,
call
I'm
your
not
wife and
that
get you in
handy.
trouble. Okay. Okay.
I'm the kind of guy that just, I'm handy enough to get in trouble, like where I get to there and I'm like, I'm going to try this. And then I just frustrate myself. And then I just end up calling, someone to come do it anyways. And I already spent an hour on it. I could have just called them to begin with and not spend an hour on it. And yeah, I did that I actually did that the other day. I did it with an electrical. I was like, oh, it must just be the switch. I'll just go get a new switch, because he had already come and gone. I didn't want to call him back and get another, spend more money. And I was like, all right, I'll just change the switch and it'll be fine. Nope. I changed the switch, it still didn't work. And I'm like, see?
It takes this time. It takes that's a minimal, like being slapped on the hand experience, but you're a much quicker learner than me, because it can be way more than an hour. I wish it was just an hour, like each time before I called in for backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we'll step, what's that saying? Stepping over dollars to pick up pennies or something. And trying to save a little bit here and there, and just
And I'm cheap.
Yeah.
I can be cheap. My wife will say I'm cheap. My wife will say that.
We're thrifty and frugal. So yeah.
She says her saying is, you'll like this. You're tighter than the skin on a weenie. I don't know if that'll make it to the video, but
that's going to be in the very front of the video. Where to go after that? I think we were talking about, you were really on it, like honest and gracious and open enough to talk about these deals. Can we go back now to we covered 1 through 4, like a higher level kind of. Can we talk again, sort of maybe higher level, on deals 5 through 8?
Yeah,
and kind of how, what those look like? They're all in different parks. But yeah, how many did you get from the owner occupants versus the actual managers? And yeah, what did number 5 look like?
So number 5 was bought it for $3,500, painted it, and cleaned it up, painted it, cleaned it up, and then sold it within a month. Yeah,
For cash or payments?
cash. Yep,
W-
16,000 or 16.
Ooh. Why can't somebody do this themselves? Like that's, I mean, I think that's the basic question that most non-real estate folks would have is, why do they need you? Why are you even here? Why can't they just do that themselves? Or what? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this seller was just like I've been looking for someone for some option for me. I'm getting old.
Oh,
I can't plow my snow, or I can't, shovel the snow and mow the lawn. And she's like, you're a blessing to me. Like you're like an angel. I'm uh, like I was like, thank you. I mean, I appreciate that. It's, that's what we're here for. We're here to help, and everyone's got a different situation. And ended up, making her the offer, and she was happy as a clam. She had been living there in there for 20 years. She was just happy to be done. She wanted to move out. She wanted to get out of there before winter. Um, and um, so, and I'm upfront with these folks and say, look, you can list it. You're more than welcome to, you could potentially get more if you list it on, but some people, if they're at this point, they don't want to deal with that. They're just happy to sell it to someone else. If it's at a discount, they don't care. Um, and it's a value to them, I guess. I'm not sure if that answered your question.
no, oh, well, it definitely does. And I mean, I've been, I asked that question to myself 18 years ago. Like, what did I do? Like, I just put a little bit of knowledge, and I was able to, well, not, I guess there's more than that. We're building rapport. We're handling paperwork. We're taking over people's problems. She could have been lying to you, and there could have been a whole nother slew of issues. But I think you said something, well, you said a lot of things very accurately, but the price isn't the number one thing that people are focused on. Some people are. They want to sell with a realtor, or they want to get like fix up their home so they can get that top retail price. And then the folks that, they don't want the top retail price. They want speed. They want someone they can trust. They want someone to get approved at the park and do things correctly. And also maybe not, did she even have any kind of ads out? Was she looking to, some people are kind of scared of the public and don't want to
Yeah.
show their home a lot.
No, you go in there humbly and you introduce yourself, you learn about their story a little bit, and you talk to them, you're down to earth, like you build a rapport, and then you build the trust, and they trust you. And then, then, you know, uh, they feel comfortable. I've heard it from a few people. Wow, I feel like I trust you. I trust what you're saying. I'm ready to sell it. So building that rapport is super important, to go in there humbly and just learn about what their story is, ask them questions about their life, talk about their home, like you say, wow, it's whatever, find some positives,
Yeah.
and um, build them up, and congratulate them, all that stuff. It goes a long way. So
Are all of the parks that you're in, these 8 communities, like if you're located in the middle, are they all like 5 miles away, or have you been driving like 50 miles here or over
no,
that, or no?
no, it's been awesome. It's been
So what
great.
do you tell me what you're doing? How do you do
I
that?
don't know,
You teach me.
like they're all nearby.
Okay, well,
Within, I mean, there's, yeah, I mean, I don't even really look any further than 20 minutes away.
whoa.
Um, so there's a lot of parks in this area. I mean, I don't know how many, but it's not like I'm in the middle of nowhere either. But I'm not in the biggest city in America either. So um, it's a hot market, though. The Grand Rapids area is a hot market, and it's a growing area. There's a lot of people. There's a huge need for housing. Um, so
That one caught me off guard. I was thinking that you were like most of us, you have to drive, but I mean, you can. Just get a
No,
bus
that
pass
one,
and just be
yeah,
fine.
one I just talked about, it was like, I mean, the park's 5 minutes from my 8 minutes from my house.
Oh, man.
It's like,
It's
but I
nice.
mean, I think you target, like for me, I've really targeted, I've said, okay, what parks do I want to work in? Like, what are my ideal parks?
Oh, okay.
And in most in like, okay, if I could have a deal in any park, and it would be that one, or it would be the, another one nearby, or, there's certain parks now that are, if obviously we want to, it's easier to manage it closer, it takes less time. Yeah, I've been very fortunate to have them all very, very nearby, and in nice parks too.
Nice.
So
The number 5 was a family community. No, she was a senior, you said.
no, number 5. Okay. No, it was just a regular community.
Oh, it was, okay.
She was an older lady, but a
Okay.
regular community. Yep.
Okay. And I think you said that well, she said it was in livable condition already, I think you said, and she just wanted to be out. Did you put much repairs into that one?
She had taken really good care of it.
Okay.
So all I did was paint it.
And
And I probably didn't even need to do that. But I did paint it and cleaned it.
and then sold it for 16 or so?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have you ever helped somebody like on the front and the back side, like bought their home and then sell them a different one yet?
Not yet,
Okay.
but interesting you asked that, because I actually have 2 people on this one that we're working on right now that live in the park now and are interested. They need they need the 3. They have a 2, they need the 3. So we'll see if that works out. I'm really interested, because it's like, wow, I get a lead and I get this, it's 2 for 1, right? It's great. And it helps them, of course, right? I mean, we're honest, it's a win for them.
Yeah.
They don't even have to move the park, out of the park. So I'm interested. I don't know. I called the guy today. He hasn't called me back, but I was interested, because it just happened to. We just started showing it like yesterday. So
Oh,
yeah,
good.
we'll see how that works. We'll see if it happens. I've had a few other people, but it's just never worked. It hasn't worked out. So
How many folks, and it might differ from payments to cash, but roughly, how many people do you have to get into a home, like walk through it before someone has them, puts the money down or wants it?
it's something I haven't really been tracking. However, it's not a lot and not a ton. It can't be it can't be much over 10.
Okay, good. That's what it should be. They know
Yeah,
what they're looking for, or you
yeah.
screen them well. They've been
Yeah, I
clear.
give them a screening survey, beforehand. They got to jump through some hoops before they can even get into the home.
Good.
There's just so many tire kickers. I mean, it's, I don't know. It's so it's frustrating. They, all the tire kickers, but you just gotta see through it and be above it.
There you go. And there's ways to kind of help screen them out before you even reach them. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
great job. Good job dealing with them. That is number 5.
5.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you going through these homes. Yeah. And it's like each one was such a, roller coaster of emotion. We're just sort of talking about them and going right through them. But I mean, each one of these was, I assume you were happy, you were a bit apprehensive, you were eager, you were scared, like just all these things. And
Yeah. I mean, obviously playing it, probably making it sound easy, of course. It always sounds, but yeah, I mean, there's all little nuances to each one, if there's a title problem, or they don't have the title, I had to get the title mailed to me, or you get approved by the park, or oh wait, the park didn't approve, oh, they need to send in their verification of employment before they can take occupancy, and then oh, we need a copy of the title, oh, the title is not here, it's in the mail, it's coming from the secretary, all these little things. So there's a lot that goes into these. There's not, I mean, you definitely have to work for it. Sometimes more than others, but it's definitely it's there's hoops, there's hoops to jump through. So
What's the most that you've paid for a mobile home to purchase it?
4,500.
Ooh, excellent. Have you ever bought one on payments from the seller?
No,
Okay, not
I've
yet.
made offers and asked them. I've just never had any success with it yet. Not that I'm not trying.
Of course. Well, I mean, the most you're paying out of pocket for these acquisition is something around 45. I mean, I think that's
Yeah, and
excellent.
for the
Very
most
well.
part,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I mean, it's not cutting into my cash flow a ton. Um, so if that's what they want,
Yeah.
it's a lower price anyways, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's
So
give it to them. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Number 5, you sold for cash, and then
Yep.
number 6, that was in a brand new park. That's incredible. I think this has to be one of the only times where it's like it's yeah, obviously 8 homes, 8 parks, and all
And they're
these
almost all Sun communities, except
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
yeah, all Sun communities, which is interesting because they can be kind of hard to work with sometimes.
I would say out of the nationwide not park management owners, Sun is 60-40, where 60% they're investor friendly, 40% they're less investor friendly, but you're in an area where they want you to be there. Do they talk amongst themselves? Like, do they say, because they're all the same community, do they say like, oh, I talked to Judy, or do you ever pepper that in like, oh yeah, I work with Judy and Frank, and do you say that as well?
Oh, yeah.
Or okay,
Yeah,
why
yeah. I
not?
mean, yeah, definitely. Like, oh yeah, or whatever. I mean, I don't talk. I don't try not to. Whenever the opportunity exists to say, hey, to build some credibility there, where like, you know, oh yeah, we just did one, down the street with Cheryl or whoever, and it went real well, and whatever, things like that, or so.
Nice. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
how did number 6 go?
So number 6, when it was on Craigslist, it was like a right place at the right time, like you say. I was in the area. I was free. I didn't have anything. I wasn't tied up doing anything. I got my notification. I have my alert on my phone. Anytime someone posts something on Craigslist, I'm getting a notification. Um, and in that certain range or whatever. So this one popped up, and it was like, oh wow, interesting. It was a good lead. It was a good one, right? So, and priced appropriately, or in the range that we look. And I called him right away. He was probably like, geez, oh Pete, I just posted this thing. And, I was like, hey, I did this whole spiel, and kind of said, hey, can I come see it today, or whenever you're available. He was like, oh yeah, well, we're here now, we're not living here, but if you want to come by now, we're going to be leaving, and then we won't be back for a while. I went over there, looked at it, um, and then I think made him an offer the next day. Um, and he was asking, what was he asking? I think the price was 5,000. He said he'd go down to 4, um, before even getting there, and then um, I offered him. So I offered him, I think just under 4. I think it was 30. I think I said something like, "Hey, what about lot rent?" Or, I was like, "Hey, yeah, I can offer you 4,000, but what about, lot rent for this month? What's the deal with that? Because I'm gonna have to pay lot rent." He's like, and then he was just like, "Oh yeah, well, I can't remember how exactly it went, but either way, the final price was 3,500, and it had something to do with lot rent." He was like, "Okay, well, yeah, you have to pay lot rent, so we can do 35." So something like along those lines. So I can't remember exactly how I worded it, but I was just kind of like, like, oh, who's handling lot rent for this month? Because it was right. I think it was like November 1st or something. And he was like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to pay lot rent or something like that. And I was like, well, you mind if we go down to 30? Oh yeah, that's fine. Um, so yeah,
Did we talk about that one? Did you send over pictures? Did you have enough?
that one, John, went so fast, and I think you were sick or something. Or were you sick?
Oh, the beginning of November. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what you were up to. You were sick, right?
Yeah, I had the dreaded
Okay.
COVID, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that one. I didn't even. I knew it was such a home run that I didn't even.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah. I just went for it. I knew I needed to scoop it up, or I was going to be gone.
Great.
So I didn't
Nice.
even. I just did it. Just went for it. I was decisive. I was very decisive.
The
Um,
and then what? Yeah, what transpired after that?
so it was in decent shape. After I got it, you and I talked and kind of went through, what to do to it. I wanted to repair, of course I was leaning, the handyman's like, replace the carpet. It's horrible. And, you're like, no, don't replace the carpet. And, you don't need to, it'll be fine. Just clean it up. And sure enough, it was, I had it cleaned. They had pets and stuff, but this was a newer home. It was a 93,
Hmm,
I guess newer,
yeah,
uh,
yeah, right.
93. For generally speaking, in homes that I've worked with, it was a newer one.
I agree.
To get for 3,500,
Yeah.
a 93 is not bad, and it was in really good shape. We painted it, new carpet. There was there was an electrical issue that needed to be resolved. Um, a couple pieces of vinyl that he just didn't finish, um, and they had left some stuff, so just some cleanup outside. I had it power washed, not a whole ton of a lot. And then yeah, that one was a good one.
It,
So
you said he was leaving or they were leaving. Was this a situation they were moving out of state or like the neighbor was
they
going to help
they
them
they
sell?
had already had a home. They had a home, closed on a home in another county,
Oh, cool.
about an hour away, maybe.
Oh, okay.
And so they were kind of motivated. They were motivated, no question. I mean, a lot of these folks are motivated and to sell, and that's where we add the value of coming in and being able to have a quick closing and have the cash and get approved. The park manager was not happy. Um,
Oh, what
he
happened?
was nice, but she was not happy because she brokers home or whatever. She sells homes in that neighborhood. So she was like, they didn't do it right. They should have came to me first because I should be selling them this home. And I'm like, or they should have sold me this home. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I was like, I played it nice and was just like, yeah, they said they got approval from you and you agree, or she did agree. And then I got approved um and everything. And she was like, yeah, it just really shouldn't have went this way. And she wasn't bitter about it. She was nice. She's been there for many years, but um, she knew that this one was a gem.
Was that after the fact though? Because if she approved you, she must have asked, well, that's a good question. On all of these 8 communities, do you have to get approved each time, or because they're all Sun, are you in with all of them?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
I have to get approved each time. Now I can send my paperwork. I don't have to like fill out a new application each time, but
Mhm.
I can either just re-forward the email of I usually, I've emailed the documents, all the application in, and then I'll just forward it over to the next person.
Smart.
Um, or
It,
they can do it.
yeah.
They can do it internally. But yes, they require it every single time. Um, yeah,
That's
it's frustrating, but I
Yeah, that is. And that's not the norm typically. I mean, maybe they'll give you like a 6 month kind of leeway, like every 6 months you have to get reapproved because you could do something, but but I guess it is what it is. So you got approved, or you turned in the application. You probably obviously said, hey, I want so-and-so's home. Was that the time that she was trying to stop you or pump the brakes, or was it already after the deal had closed, out of curiosity?
So here's what happened. She was off. And so they
Oh.
knew where she lived in the park. And so they went over and talked to her and were like, hey, we want to sell the home. We just really want to get out. We're going to sell it to this guy. She was like, she was kind of like, that's fine. But from what I understood, I followed up with an email to her to say, hey, this is what they told me, blah, blah, blah. I just want to make sure you're good with it. And when she got back in the office, she said, yes, that's fine. And then she just kind of followed up with that later when I went in to sign the lease, was just kind of like, yeah, they really shouldn't have done it this way. But, you know.
Sounds like but she's pocketing those. I mean, she wants all of those homes, not just to sell, but to be an investor. She wants to be.
No, she's just selling them. She just gets compensation.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, all these part managers, most of them in the Sun communities get some sort of additional commission or whatever for selling the homes.
They're motivated by money. I can't believe it. Have you offered them, hey, I will, graciously give you not graciously, I'll be happy to, if you turn me on to something, I'll be happy to pay you.
Yeah. Some say, I can't accept anything,
That one you sold, okay. Yeah. The carpet was just kind of, you cleaned it up. And so it had the older used carpet.
Yeah.
Did you sell that one for, cash or payments?
Cash.
Cool.
Yep. Sold that one for 25.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's not bad.
We
Pretty
had,
good.
I don't know what I ended up having into it, but
25,000, not 2,500, right?
What's that? No.
25,000.
Yes.
To clarify. Okay.
That was a home run.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes.
That one was a good one. She knew it. She knew, the park manager knew. She's like, she said that, I think that's why she wanted to sell it. She knew, but she also knew there was value in us, fixing it up and adding some value to it before we sold it. Cause she said, all I would do is just clean it, get all the trash out and relist it.
She even said that.
Yeah.
Do any of these managers ask to walk, or are they nosy, or do they ask to walk inside the home at all?
I've never had them. No, not really.
That's cool.
No, I do. When I do repairs, I do send them kind of, hey, look, hey,
Yes.
look what we did.
Yes. Loud and proud about it.
Yeah. Look what we did. Let me know. I just did this the other day. I said, hey, it's all ready to go. Here's some pictures. I don't know if you saw it before, but it was a mess. And
yes,
cleaned it up, blah, blah, blah. Let me know if there's any buyers, because there's nothing else for sale in the park right now. Let me know if there's any buyers. I'd be happy to give you, pass you along an appreciation gift or something or whatever, if you find a buyer for me.
Do you know if they get a flat fee, or is it like whatever they can sell it for? I mean, do you know if?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It might be a flat. It might depend on the sale price too.
I think it depends. Yeah. Okay.
I think like a realtor, I know a mobile home realtor, and I think it's similar. If it's under 10 grand, she gets a flat fee of 2,000. And then if it's over 10, if it's like 10 to 25, it's or 10 to 20, it goes up, and then it goes to like 8% or something like that.
Okay.
8 to 10%.
Cool.
I don't know if they do the same, but
that was number 6, I think.
Yes, number 6. Yep.
Awesome. That's awesome. And then how quickly was number 6? Are any of these homes is it completely one and then sell it, and then the second one and then sell it, or are you Do you have like 3 homes at a time sometime, or 2 homes at a time?
I have never had more than 2.
Okay.
This one was pretty cut. These ones in the fall were, that one the number 5 was basically in September.
Mhm.
And then this one was basically in November. And then number 7 was basically in December. They're only taking about a month to do. When everything, sometimes they bleed a little bit into the first week of the following month, but mostly they're mostly just 1 month, and mostly just one. Now, I don't know that I was trying to do it like that, but it helps manage it a little better with everything else I had going on.
And you're wearing you don't repair these, but you're doing almost everything else.
Yeah.
At the moment, yeah.
Managing it, and managing the repairs and making sure that they're not, they're progressing, things like that, all that stuff. But yeah, no repairs. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember what you said earlier. You know your limits. Like that's
Exactly.
Oh, what's number 7 looking like? Or did it
Number
look like?
7, this is a fun one, because see, they all have they're all fun, right? So a friend told me I need to call you and just see what you have to say. And I was like, oh, okay,
You have to
I
say.
never thought I'd work in this park. This one is really nice park. Like some of the homes in the front they have like a new, phase. And I mean, these homes they have garages, they're modular, or they're like, I don't know, they're not modulars, but they're going for $80,000.
Wow.
These homes. And new park, not very, not a lot of trees. They, just really clean. But then there's like a back part, the older part, where there's some of the, older single wides and things like that. So this one was a 97. She had said, I already talked to the park and they're going to make me an offer. And, but I would like to hear what, you would offer. So I went to look at it. And right after I looked at it, I called the park and I said, hey, I'm looking at this home and I just want to make sure, I can, the whole thing, ask the park manager if it's okay to invest in there and make sure they're going to be friendly and make sure that they'd accept the payments, a payment program for someone, all that stuff. And he was like, yeah, do you mind telling me what home it was? And whatever, and, oh yeah, I was just in there today. I don't really, he didn't say this, but you could tell right away he didn't want to make an offer. He's like, yeah, I think, what do you say? He was like, yeah, what are you going to offer? And I was like, well, I didn't really want to say right away. And he was like, well, here you go. I'll tell you what I'm going to offer you. And then you go from there, and you can have, basically you can have it. Cause he didn't want it. I think he's got more homes, and it was probably, it's getting close to the holidays. He's probably, just like, I don't want this piece of junk or whatever. It wasn't, it was beautiful.
Right. 97. It's not bad. Yeah.
97, really nice. And he's like, well, I was going to offer $2,000. And I was like, okay, well, I was probably going to offer 3. But she was going to take the appliances. So I was like, all right, well, I'll offer her, I don't remember what it actually came down to, but I took some off for I did agree to, I was like, all right, well, I was already thinking about 3, so I'll offer her 3. And, but then I ended up taking a little bit off for the appliances.
Good.
And she was like, all right, well, I'll leave the appliances. So I think we agreed to like 3,200 or something. And still a great deal. So he basically told me, showed me, and then he called her and told her his offer, and he totally worked with me on it. I mean, it was awesome. I brought him he likes whiskey, so I brought him a little
Oh, cool.
pint of, some whiskey. So, um, so yeah, I
Yes.
really appreciate that. Like, I was like, I really, and I even brought the up front, a bottle of wine, the office coordinator, because she was super helpful.
Dude,
I'm
yes.
totally great. I feel bad sometimes when I know it's their job, but you send them these applicants and they gotta deal with all this stuff with the rent to own and all the different paperwork that Sun makes them. And so I am definitely appreciative to these folks when they, do the extra work to help to work with me. And then they worked with me on the rent to own. They're like, we're just going to turn it. Cause they were like, cause the park manager was like, he originally told me, yeah, no problem on the rent to own. Yep, you just have to do this, this, and this. And then I called the office coordinator called me back one day, a few days later, and was like, yeah, we can't do that. And I'm like, what do you mean? So and so said that, and she's like, yeah, I know, we can't do that. And then during the phone call, she was hard on it, and she was like, no, we can't do it. And I was like, but Ed, where's Ed? Or whatever, he said he said that he said something different. I just want to make sure that, or so. And then I was just kind of like, okay, so what do what do I need to do? Let's figure this out, And she was like, just hang on a second. Um, and then she came back and she was like, all right, it's fine. It's fine. We'll just turn our heads and just do the rent to own, and we're gonna be fine. Just follow the rules, and you can do the rent to own. Just like so.
They
So
love you. Seriously. I mean, whatever your magnetism that you are putting off when you are there, people are loving you. That
I don't know, John.
I,
I'm grateful for it, but I've been I don't know. I don't know what it is.
well, you're direct, you're humble, you know what it might be is just that the bar is set pretty low for the other folks that they deal with,
Yeah.
people that don't show up on time or people that want to steal from the park. And you are just, it's easy to just being you, you're already, yeah, they hit just a low bar set. So anyway, I mean, not
Maybe,
to
yeah.
discredit everything that you're doing, because nothing
Well,
would have happened
yeah,
without
and it's
you.
a lot of the same of the method with sellers. You build rapport, you go in there, you do what you say you're going to do, and you build trust, and people people gravitate to that because there's not many people out there. I mean, there's
Right.
less and less each day people that do what they are going to stick to their word. And
Mhm.
so yeah, we ended up buying that one and not really doing anything to it, cleaning it up a little bit, and then selling it on payments or rent to own.
Yes. What does your competition look like? Or not so much what does it look like, but is it mainly other people with cash, just end users that want to buy cash? Or are there other investors that you're
I
head to
haven't run
head
into,
with? Or
I haven't run into many other investors in this area.
cool.
I think they're out there. I'm in contact with one lady that I ran into. We're friendly, but she's like going in a different direction now. She took the program. What program did she take? Trailer Cash.
Oh
Trailer.
yeah.
I think they're. She says that they were students of yours.
Yep.
Um, so she took that program, but she's going in like a different direction now. So I was kind of
Not mobile homes?
friendly and kind of what's that?
Not mobile homes any longer? Or
No, she's done. So I've run into her, and um, other than that, there's people in other areas of the state for sure that I've found on Craigslist that have ads up. I haven't seen, yeah, I haven't seen many.
W- well, you have hundreds of parks around you. I mean, if you drive far enough and you're not driving hardly that, I mean, good, keep doing what you're doing. But, there's so many parks around you. People can be busy in other communities and you just don't, yeah, you haven't bumped
Yeah,
into. That's awesome. Seriously, everything that you've done has been, I mean, just you deserve the credit from the duplexes to then just not sitting on your butt and wanting to do something else, knowing that, we're all still fairly young. We have more decades ahead of us that we can work and we want to work for ourselves. Um, Thank you so much. I hope that I've been a help in your journey, and I hope that you can always feel like you can call me or email me or text me, and please
Absolutely,
know
I
that you
do.
can.
It's been great working with you, and I appreciate your
Oh,
uh,
thank you.
building me up and everything. And glory, and not all glory to myself, but glory to the man above and everything like that for getting me there. I mean, because yeah, it's that's been huge. And yeah, I've been never have not regretted working with you, John, at all.
Hope so.
It's
Thank
been
you.
I've learned so much. Yeah, you're super helpful. And what
Thank you.
else? What else did I want to say about that?
Thanks for saying that. My goodness, I hope nobody is regretful that they don't get starters. Um, but still, it would not have. I mean, if you were just in front of the computer all day, that wouldn't have got you anywhere. I mean, you building the relationships, you're meeting all these new folks, you're going through this roller coaster of emotions. I'm here on over the phone and to help as much as I can as somebody can help over the phone. But um, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so here's my thing about why I chose to work with you
oh,
so I look
please.
why I talked about the rental property thing and how I made all those mistakes. And I knew, so I learned, hopefully, well, I sort of learned, I made a mistake on the front end on that first one. But I think I knew all along that I was going to try this out. And then once I, um, you know, was able to have enough cash flow, then which it was backwards. In hindsight, I probably should have just went from the beginning because I could have saved that money. Um, I know for sure you would have helped me save that money. And then I wouldn't have just had to spend it. But
Oh.
anyways, it's over. I knew that I made a lot of mistakes in the rental business up front, and the learning curve was huge. So I knew that if I was going to make this legit and be able to turn it and quit my job a decent amount of time, I needed to lower the learning curve and um, save some money. And I knew that having a mentor like you was gonna be that. I recommend it to everyone. I mean, if you're thinking about doing it my way, don't do it that way. But do it, sign up, and do it from the beginning. Even if you're not sure, you'll still save money, I think. So
Thank you for saying that. I mean, just the folks watch. Anyway, everyone's on their own journey, and my email's on, for folks regardless. But thank you so much. Thank you for saying that. Seriously, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, I hope you always know that for homes or on land or ones in parks or the entire parks when you get there. Um, Love to brainstorm and
yeah,
talk to you about those as well.
it's all on the table.
It's all on the table. Seriously. Do you, anything else? We've gone so long already.
I
Thank
know.
you. I always budget for like an hour and then it's thinking like, yeah, 30, 40 minutes. We'll knock it right out. And that doesn't happen. Anything last advice I guess you kind of sort of did, but anything else you wanted to mention?
So yeah, I mean, I guess so for me, like I was interested in finding a different avenue, and it just got to a point where it was time to take action, and that's probably why I jumped and did that first one because I wanted to jump in. Um, and so I guess that's one of my pieces of advice if people are on the fence or whatever. Um, be decisive, and that's part of a real estate investment is you can't get paralysis of analysis. You're not going to find the perfect deal every time. You're not going to it's not going to be there. Don't worry about the perfect deal. Find what worked, make sure the numbers are going to work, and go for it. Like if you know what I mean, like just jump in. Just don't I feel like that's where a lot of people don't get started. They don't take that action, that first step, and jump in. They're nervous for whatever reason. Yes, there's risk. There's risk in everything we do. There's risk when you get into the car every day. There's risk about everything. So just knowing that even if like, for me, like I'm quitting my job, like, okay, that some people are just like, they're blown away. And I'm like, if this doesn't work, I have options. I can go back maybe, or do something else. So you're not pigeonholed to one thing your whole life. I mean, so just people I feel like sometimes just freak themselves out about this stuff. And so yeah, that's my soapbox.
That's huge. I mean, and how do you give somebody that confidence, that like just that split second decision confidence to, go do it, just push them out of the nest a little bit. Um, especially if they don't have any education or they don't have the experience from the duplexes or they don't have a wife, that's like got their back and sort of, emotionally
Yeah.
supporting them. And it's just us with the negative thoughts in our mind. And then yeah, anyway, I completely believe that. Completely, you're right. I mean, you're going to make mistakes. Hopefully they're not detrimental, but yeah, you get better over time, or you ask more questions and then ask more questions. And
Yeah.
such good advice. Yeah, I really hope that folks internalize that. Easier said than done, but it's in the beginning. That's sort of always, I mean, it's always easy, it's always more difficult in the beginning, and then it gets
Yeah,
easier as you know more.
I mean, yeah, your first deal, you're going to be nervous. Like
Yeah.
it's no question.
Yeah.
Like, so you're going to be nervous your fifth deal, like, I mean, and then it just gets easier and easier and you eliminate that doubt. I mean, I still struggle with it. Like this one right now, I'm like, no, this home is going to sell. Like, I still like struggle with that self-doubt. Like you don't get any inquiries for a while and you're like, like, no, that's no, go away. And no, this home it's going to sell. Don't, like,
And if please lean on me or double, triple check anything, or I'll be happy to tell you if you're crazy or not.
all right.
Thank you so much again, seriously, for giving of yourself. You did just what you said in the beginning of this video. I mean, try to provide value so other folks can stand on our shoulders to not make the same mistakes or to progress even faster. Um,
Yeah.
Thank you again, Brandon.
No
Seriously.
problem. Yeah, no, I'm happy to help. So yeah, if you need to um, edit some of it out and make it shorter, that's fine. No, whatever. Yeah.
Take it personally. Okay, no.
I won't take it personally. Yes.
This was really good.